Well, to be honest with you, the Random Act of Kindness tour, it started out almost purely as a opportunity to reconnect with some Coast Guard Academy graduates that I hadn't seen in like 30 or 40 years. And we went to a football game and we played some golf. And then one of the participants had the idea, like, we ought to turn this into a fundraiser. And so initially, what we did is, we had each participant kick in greens fees, like what would be greens fees at a nice club. And we raised, a couple of grand. And then 3 years ago, we sort of went to a sponsorship based tournament where each participant was responsible for bringing in sponsors. And quite frankly, we were overwhelmed by our ability to raise funds for very good causes, like the Diamond Sports Foundation. So it is now, it's an annual tournament. We have 20 to 24 participants, and each of those participants has like a fundraising sponsorship quota, if you will. Well, there's history between myself and Sandy Ogg, who's the head of the Diamond Sports Foundation. We went to the Coast Guard Academy 100 years ago. He was a football guy, I was a basketball guy. So we've known each other for a number of years, a number of decades, actually. And I've always thought of Sandy as a natural leader. Like, can leadership be, do you teach it or are you born with it? Well, the answer to that is both. But I've always thought that Sandy was the kind of person that would see something that needed fixed, and he would jump in the middle of it. And so when I started hearing more and more about the Diamond Sports Foundation, I really wasn't surprised, because that's really what he did. And he's done it over a series of years. And I personally think this, and many of the people that play in the tournament think it as well, there could be no better cause. For instance, I cannot imagine my life without sports, without athletics. And what did that teach me? Well, it taught me, how to be a teammate. It taught me how to win. It taught me how to lose. It taught me how to rebound from failure. All of those different kinds of things. And the reality of youth sports today is that there's so many kids that simply do not get to participate because it costs a bunch of money to play. So if you want to play Division II or Division III athletics, let alone Division I, you have to be on this track with other people that have the same aspirations, that are very good players. And that's how you get seen. That's how you get noticed. That's how you get a letter that says, we'd like you to attend this university. And that's a life-changing thing. Like, if a kid gets an opportunity to get into a quality university through sports that they otherwise would not have received, that puts their life on an entirely different track. And, I speak from personal experience there. So, to me, sort of like that motivation, that foundation, behind what Sandy and the Diamond Sports Foundation is up to, that's why we're all in there. So our tournament every year, we're not a 503(c). It's like we have pass-through where we pick charities that we support. And the Diamond Sports Foundation, we've got a tremendous relationship with them. They're very supportive, of what we're doing for maybe some obvious reasons, but by the same token, everybody that plays in our tournament really believes in that cause. Well, yeah, I mean, last year we had 20 players, so 5 foursomes, and that was actually it was cut down significantly last year because the tournament was scheduled to be played in Bonita Bay, Florida, and then Hurricane Ian had other ideas, so we wound up at the last minute shifting to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Wound up with 14 players, but we had 20 people that originally signed up, who through sponsorship we wound up raising close to $50,000. And so we're somewhat limited by the number of dollars we can raise, by the number of participants, that we have. But like each participant, we set a minimum of $1,000 in sponsorship. So, I mean, people can do the math on that. everybody exceeded, their minimal expectation. But with 20 to 24 participants, we're looking to raise as much money as we possibly can, that all of which goes directly to the Diamond Sports Foundation and the other charities that we have identified. But there's no administrative cost that is, kind of that's being taken out, to take away from the total donation. So, yeah. It's one of those kind of things that it's like you get a little spark, and then all of a sudden you got a little fire, and then it starts to burn. But I think the future, from a management standpoint, we'd really like to keep the tournament at it's a manageable number from an operational standpoint, to keep it at 20 or 24. But I could see this turning into a series of one-day regional events across the country to support various organizations that the Diamond Sports Foundation is focused upon. We're certainly up for that, and Sandy and I will talk about that. But we would be honored to continue to support what they're doing in any way, shape, or form. The first thing you realize when you're going to ask other people to donate to a cause is, you're not the only person doing that. There's a number of very worthy causes, and some, quite frankly, not so worthy, that have very good marketing pitches that are hitting all of us, for, hey, can you support this? Can you support that? So we're conscious, of that. But by the same token, if you think about it, like a player in the Random Act of Kindness, if they have 20 friends that kick in $100 a piece, or the numbers can get pretty significant pretty quickly. And so we're kind of extending, going and reaching out through the players to their personal and business networks, and saying, just contact people, contact people that know you're not, kind of scamming them or anything, that this is going to be something that is for a good cause. But like the range of donations that we've had in the last few years have gone from like $50 to $5,000. And so we'd certainly like to encourage many more of the $5,000 donors. So if you're out there, come on, hear this plea. But obviously anything works. Anything is a good thing.